Janice Cobb of Save My Pet ID Tag. Engraved with your pet's info, they allow emergency personnel to start care for your pets if you're sick or injured. Head over to SaveMyPetIDTag.com and explore products. They ensure peace of mind for you and for your four-legged family.
All dogs need regular enrichment. Big dogs, little dogs, puppies, dogs with gray muzzles, they all need it. And we're in luck because our special guest will share ways we can enrich any dog. Now, she's also going to unleash details about a new dog activity you can do anywhere. It's called dog parkour. That's Parkour. Not parfait. So at this time, please give pause and applause to renowned dog trainer. She operates a company in Georgia called Best in Dog. Yep, we're talking about Chris Hale. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So everyone, a little bit about Chris. She knows dog. She has 3 in her home right now, but she's got that alphabetical soup after her name, you know, certified professional dog trainer. You're with Pet Professional Guild. I mean, just give a little alphabet soup about yourself.
The alphabet soup, yeah, that's what we call it. I am a certified professional dog trainer. Knowledge assessed is what that KA stands for. And I am also, I am with the Pet Professional Guild as well. In fact, I don't know if I should make a plug, but I am doing a webinar as part of their Celebrating Life Together thing this coming weekend. And then
I think it's called Pets and People, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of the Pet Professional Guild. And yes, pets and people are a part of that as well. And then I am also a certified dog parkour instructor as well as an evaluator. So if somebody in the area is trying to become titled in parkour, which I can talk about a little bit later, I can also actually evaluate them as well for some of the titles.
But your background, you were a teacher. And you know a little bit about psychology for the humans. So how did you go from, what were you doing, teaching, and how did you make that transition to the four-leggers?
That is a great question. It just made sense and it all came together. I've always been a dog person. I was teaching high school. I taught high school for 27 years.
Wow. What was your subject?
I taught social studies, but I ended with the last 10 years I was teaching AP Psych and then started teaching IB Psychology as well. And in that time, I had adopted a new dog. Her name is Desra. She is my logo, by the way.
D-E-Z-R-A. Love the name.
D-E-Z-R-A, yeah. And I had to bring out the best in her, right? That's how this whole concept came to be. So I was teaching psychology. I started taking her to, just basic manners classes. And I was like, wow, this makes sense. It all comes together for me. And then I started fostering and doing training and found myself as a teacher also on the training team for a local rescue. Okay. And then it just kind of from there, I was like, I'm going to get my certification. And then, the pandemic happened and I was like, well, I'm kind of done with teaching now. And let me just do full swing into dog training, which is what I wanted to do. Really, I wanted to make that shift anyway, so it was perfect timing.
And why did you name your company? I love it. It's very positive, or as we say, positive. Best in Dogs. What made you say that name for your company?
It was actually my husband's idea. So
good job, Stephen.
I'm going to give him full credit for that. But to me, it really is about bringing out the best in your dog. I do a lot with rescues. The vast majority of my clients are rescues. I also do some volunteer work with Fulton County Animal Shelter and support their fosters. And I also teach a parkour class there on occasion, which is a lot of fun. But it was, for me, in working with some dogs, in the world of rescue, there are some quirks sometimes. You get the quirks. And for me, it was finding the ways to bring out the very best in the dog that we have in front of us. So many times people want to change the dog and make the dog somebody they're not. And that's where enrichment really comes in.
Well, let's dive into that. You're a teacher. You know how to school me. How do you define dog enrichment? What does that mean?
Well, dog enrichment is really tapping into what makes a dog, right?
Okay.
It's tapping into, it can be innate behaviors like sniffing and chewing and foraging and licking and shredding.
Sounds like some of my ex.
As well as digging. Digging's another one. And then there's also the engagement piece, which is play and learning. And that's where parkour and teaching a dog tricks comes in as well. But enrichment is really just, it's tapping into what makes a dog who they are. And by allowing our dogs to be who they are and do doggy things like sniffing, like shredding, like digging, yes, we actually kind of, and it reduces their stress levels. It helps to build their confidence. It's all those things that make them who they are. And we're allowing them to be who they are. And to me, you're bringing out the best in your dog when you do that. And so that's kind of where Best in Dog came from, as this idea of, I'm going to work with you to bring out the very best in the dog you have in front of you, rather than you trying to change this dog into something that they are not.
Or even maybe Chris saying, no, stop chewing. No, stop wrecking the couch. And then the dog's like, well, what am I going to do now? Right? You gave him a no, but not a here's something else, right?
Exactly. We gave them a no, but not a yes. And that's the beautiful thing about enrichment is when we tap into our dog's needs, fulfill who they are as a dog, we're actually saying yes. And we're teaching them yes instead of no. So no, out of the garbage can. No, don't dig that hole. Instead, it's like, okay, well, I understand that actually you're a dog and you like to forage. So let me set up opportunities for you to forage, and then we'll block off the garbage can so you can't dig in the garbage can. But I'm fulfilling that dog's need to forage. Not all dogs go in garbage cans. Some do. And so if a dog, I have 3 dogs, we address that. Desra is my best in dog. She was my challenge, right? I had to, she's a shredder. She's a digger. She's a nuisance. No, I'm just kidding.
What kind of dog do you think she is? And how old is she?
She is actually probably close to 12 at this point.
Okay. Okay.
Because we adopted her. It will be, her gotcha day is Saturday. It will be 11 years on Saturday.
Wow. I like that gotcha day.
Yeah. And she was about a year old when we got her. She's still got plenty of energy, but she's the dog. I've had dogs before and I've had challenging dogs before, but she is the sweetest, most loving dog. But she, as growing up, always was into something because she's a Shepherd Husky mix. We did the
Oh, I had a Husky Golden Retriever mix. I hear you. Okay. All right. So
it's
what
that
about
Shepherd Husky?
Yeah. What's the deal with Hank?
So Hank is my solid go-to guy. We call him a mama's boy because he does have some separation anxiety issues that we have worked through over the years. He is also at least between 10 and 11 years old at this point. This is for me, when I was introduced to parkour, Hank is a shyer guy. I started doing parkour with him and it built his confidence tremendously. Like I saw him grow, which is part of the reason why I'm like all about parkour is because you all
right. Yeah. Hey, everyone. We're speaking with Chris Hale. She is a certified professional dog trainer. She operates Best in Dog out of Marietta, Georgia. And I've been teasing you, but when we come back, we're going to learn what the heck Par 4 is and why you need to know about this and how it can help your dog after we take this break. And you know the drill. And I know this dog trainer is going to love this. Sit, stay. We'll be right back.
Pet Greens just donated a large amount of catnip and cat grass to Beagle Freedom Project, who recently just converted an animal testing lab into an animal sanctuary called Freedom Fields. Giving cats in a rescue access to cat grass and catnip can really help with their mood or acclimating if they came from outside to inside. And reducing a cat's anxiety really helps their chances of getting adopted. If you'd like to learn more about Pet Greens, or if you're a nonprofit and would like to request some cat grass for your sanctuary, please visit petgreens.com.
Arden Moore here with some great news. I have not one, but 2 calendars coming out in 2025. Order yours now. For my feline friends, it is How to Speak Cat. You're going to learn why and how cats purr and how do they really talk using their tails. For my dog folks, we got How to Speak Dog. Why do dogs dig to dig? And what does it mean when they go belly up? What does it really mean when they're giving you doggy kisses? Answers are here. Get your paws on the calendars today. Go to Amazon.com or click on this QR code. Paws up. We're talking with dog trainer Chris Hale. She's out of Marietta, Georgia. We have teased you long enough. I have been in the pet biz a long time, and I got to say, you threw a new word at me, parkour, Parkour. All right, teacher, dog trainer, what the heck is parkour for dogs?
So I was introduced to parkour by a friend at a camp, and it's basically a way to engage with your dog where you are teaching your dog to do things like climb, jump, balance, go over things, under things, around things. It is fantastic. The thing I love most about it is it's accessible for any dog of any skill level, age, size. And again, you're teaching your dog to do things like put 2 feet up to go around at the training and novice levels. As the dog gets more advanced, then you can start to do things like actually teach the dogs to rebound off walls, back up onto things. It's a great enrichment activity.
Do you know where the word came from?
Yeah, it's French. I think if you saw the Olympics, the guy that was bringing the torch and kind of going over the buildings and through things and down things, I think he was parkour. So it is a human thing, like where you're jumping off, curbs, walls, sliding down things. And the group that I am certified with is the International Dog Parkour Association. They took that basis and made it for dogs.
Nice. So I have seen some videos. So people who live in urban areas and you're taking your dog on a walk. And I want you to kind of illustrate. All of a sudden the dog can just jump up on a box that was a utility box. He's not going to get electrocuted, everybody. It's all, or he's walking. Just give me some ideas. Give me some specifics. That gets the dog out of the ho-hum of walk, walk, walk.
Exactly. It gets the dog out of the ho-hum. Exactly. It's also great for the dogs that might be reactive where they bark at other dogs. Because if you're teaching them something and they know this, you would want to teach it in a low distraction area first. Right. You're going to get them to be more focused on you. And you can also take them to places like office parks. When you're out walking in the woods, you might have them jump over a log or balance on a log around a tree. There's a park nearby that I love to take my dogs. Does some more advanced stuff. That there are benches. She'll jump between the benches. She'll climb up on the rocks.
Nice.
There's like a big tree that's kind of goes over everything, and we jump over that. So it's
what do you think's going on in Dez's mind? Why is this like enrichment magnified 2.0? I mean, why is it so good for that dog? Because they're showing their athleticism, making you feel, man, I wish I had 2 more legs. But what's it doing for the dog?
Well, for Dez, because she's got a lot of energy and excitement, it's helping with impulse control. She has to actually kind of listen to what I'm asking her to do. It's not just woohoo, free for all, right? Because when you teach your dog these skills, again, you're going to teach them in a low distraction area. And now we're going to bring it into the real world. And when your dog really understands parkour, if you're and you're working towards, you don't have to get a title, but if you are working towards a title, the dog is listening and they have to listen. Hey, do you want me to do 2 feet on this thing? Do you want me to jump on this thing? Did you want me to go around this thing? And so for her, because of her energy level, A, it's a way to get energy out and be athletic. But B, she's also listening to me.
I really like that. They hear very well when they want to, right?
Yes. And I mean, it's rewarding, right? You're engaging with your dog. You're having a good time. It's rewarding for both you and your dog. And then Hank, he does 2 feet up. He loves to do 2 feet up. Like he's like, I can do 2 feet up on anything. But
what can he do 2 feet up on? What's he been doing?
He can do it up on a fire hydrant. If we were and he does it up on these rocks. I was teaching a class on it, and he was with me, and so we had different obstacles out. Just like chair and different obstacles. And he was like, "Hey, look at me! I'm just going to go around and do 2 feet up on everything, so you can see what I'm doing." Now,
does he do his 2 front, or can he do his 2 back?
He does his 2 front. He can also do 2 feet off. So if he's up 4 feet on, he can just, if I say 2 feet off, he'll just do his 2 feet off. But it really, for him, really helped to build his confidence. So
I can see that. Yeah.
He's learning, he's thinking. And again, we're engaging. When you're teaching your dog parkour, you're working with them on a very different level. There isn't the stress of, all right, I'm asking you to sit or stay or leave it, like A, boring, but B, it's just kind of, there's a certain level of stress. My dog isn't doing this thing I'm asking. But when you're having fun and doing parkour with your dog, there isn't the stress. There isn't the competition. Even like agility, people go to competitions, they do all that. But with parkour, it's really just you and your dog. And that's what I
Well, I kind of like that because, dogs feel stress. You talked about that. And dogs have separation anxiety. They're sentient beings. And I mean, when I'm walking with Kona and Emma, my 2 dogs, right in the middle of the walk, I'll just say, park it. And they just sit. And then I pull out the treats. I don't show the treats, Miss Trainer, until after, but they like the term park it because it's kind of funny. It's not sad, So I'm just thinking, can people get parkour online? Can they come to a class like yours? I mean, I don't live in Georgia, but it's kind of a cool, laid back, like the French, laissez-faire, it sounds like. But you really are showing them what you want them to do, but you're kind of letting them explore too.
Mm-hmm. So you would teach it like you would teach a skill like sit or something. You're luring them into position and then giving them a treat. But over time, they do know it. So like some of the basic skills, like 2 feet up, you're just putting 2 feet up. You could put 4 feet up. And like I said, go around. But you can do that on multiple things. So let's say there's a fire hydrant. You can put 2 feet up on the fire hydrant and then ask the dog to go around the fire hydrant. And so they're really engaging with it, and they have to think, what am I being asked to do? And dogs are thinking cognitive beings, right? And so it gives them that opportunity.
What kind of responses do you get when you're walking Des or Hank or Joni and you're saying, go to the fire hydrant? 2 feet up.
Kind of looked at me. I typically do it at the park. We do a lot really just at home. But I mean, when I teach a class, we love it. I mean, and people have said, hey, I'll see you at the park. And I've seen some people doing some stuff. So it's really nice. But you ask if anybody's interested, it's dogparkour.org. So
Dog Parkour. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no worry. It's dogparkour.org. And again, I did not come up with this. Somebody introduced it to me. I love it. And I love spreading the word. Like I said, I do it with every now and again. I also go into the shelter here and teach a class to volunteers and dogs. And then the idea is the volunteers can take that and work with the dogs. And
could maybe up their chance of being adopted. The other segment that you also you throw a bone to, is professional pet sitters. And I know you've given a recent webinar on canine enrichment to the National Association of Professional Pet Sitters. These are people that are dog walkers. They're certified, they're licensed, they're insured. They walk into your house and they're taking your dog out for a walk. Lots can happen. So explain the benefits, why you did a webinar for these pet sitters and the benefits for them to know about enrichment and parkour.
Well, I did it because I think a couple of reasons. One, like you said, all dogs can benefit from enrichment. And a lot of times what I see as a trainer is people are like, I want the dog to walk right next to me and be right next to me. But the most beneficial thing that you can do is let the dog sniff. Let them sniff.
Yes.
We call that a sniffari.
Yep.
But you let them sniff. And so I wanted to kind of let pet sitters know, hey, you can do more than just walk the dog. You can do things like sniffing enrichment. I love snuffle mats.
Yeah.
I think they're great enrichment.
They're like the shag carpet getting a new life, right?
Yes. And I also do a thing of find it, which is I just toss treats and say, find it. And so, part of it was to kind of encourage them, hey, you can do more. You can do parkour. You can actually, if they're motivated to do so, or they have the interest in doing so, teaching the dog, 2 feet up or to go around, because I know sometimes it's hot, and walking a dog when it's really hot, there's safety factors, but it also can be miserable. But so my thinking is, hey, if they add some of this other stuff, maybe the walk isn't as long. They don't have to worry about going out on this long walk on the hot sidewalk, but instead we're going to spend some time actually sniffing in the grass or whatever to give them that opportunity. But also, I think adding enrichment as a pet sitter sets you apart. I think you can say, hey, you can even have an add-on, right? Hey, for this amount of money, we'll do some sniffing or foraging or provide licking, chewing time. Maybe I will teach your dog a trick or some parkour or whatever as kind of an add-on, or just because you want to do more with the dogs. I know that pet sitters love the dogs they're working with. I mean, that's why they do what they do.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Many of them are aunts and uncles of these dogs, right? Yeah.
And aunts and uncles are the ones that have the most fun, right?
That's right. That's right. Hey, I can't believe it goes by so fast, but I really am honored that you have been a guest on our show. You're making life for dogs doggone great because of enrichment and parkour. Again, how do people find out about you, Chris Hale?
Well, to find out about me, the best thing to do, honestly, is my website, which is www.bestindog.com. And the information's there. And then they can send me an email.
Any last parting message? You got something to woof about?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been a blast. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for all the people, especially that adopt right now. We are in need. There is a clear the shelters thing. So I encourage you, adopt. Adopting saves lives.
I call them shelter alums. I have a pair.
Love it.
So there you go.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content.